Hello, everybody. How are you? Hey, we're continuing our series on Dallas, and this parody video answers an important question, and that is, how did Dallas, Texas get its name? If you talk to historians and experts, there are conflicting reports on how it happened. But what's good about the way that I conduct research and my travel and history videos, they are different in that I get down into the nooks and crannies and I talk to the people on the street. A lot of historians, a lot of researchers, they talk to people in their own elite circles, whereas I'm a man of the people and I talk to the people to get the answer. And I was at a Whataburger a few nights ago talking to a lady who had on a Dallas Cowboys stocking cap, a Dallas Stars training camp sweatshirt, and on her socks it said University of Texas Longhorns Hook'em Horns. So I assume she's a local sports fan, a local football fan, and she gave me the story. So I bought her an extra round of fries to get the whole complete background, and here's what she said. So Dallas itself was formed, the city of Dallas was formed in the mid-1800s, the early 1840s. Some people peg it at 1841, some at 1843. No one's exactly sure. The beginning of the city is kind of shrouded in the mists of history. But what she said was there was a coach, the very first coach of the Dallas Cowboys in the 1840s was a guy named Dallas. And that's why they named the city Dallas, because he was such a prominent figure in the early sporting history of this city. And if you talk about sports and you talk about sports cities, very, very few cities have the legacy and history of sports that Dallas has. And now we know from, like I say, a lady on the street, a lady that knows these things because she's not in some ivory tower. She is part of the generational history of the city. We know that now the name of the city is tied directly to its origin as a sporting town. And the Cowboys, of course, have been probably the highest profile franchise in the city for many years. And it all started way back when Dallas, the first coach of the Cowboys, named the city and the team. Now, what's interesting is that Dallas was one of the innovators in the chicken wing formation that was so popular, so common in the National Football League up through the 1910s. But what's interesting is that he also developed a number of other offensive schemes. For example, the passive soaring wing. Now, it turns out that Dallas was also a professor of ornithology, or more specifically, or more correctly, ornithology, the study of birds at the University of Texas. And for the longest time was the lead professor and actually the only professor in the Department of Ornithology at the school. And he modified some of his education, some of the things he learned about how birds fly, basically, and turned that into some of the most devastating offensive formations in the history of American football. So the passive soaring wing was when the running back will jump and soar over the line. It's a leaping, and what they'll tend to do is spread their arms to get the full effect of their the air beneath their body, lifting their body, much like an airplane, much like a bird. And then what came later was the active soaring wing formation. And in this case, the running back, halfback, even the quarterback will jump out over the line. Rather than trying to burst through it and risk injury, they'll jump out over the line. And in the active soaring wing formation, guys, what they'll do is pedal in midair, much like in a cartoon where the feet are moving. Da, 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 da. And what that does is creates an air cyclone around their feet that will propel them another 3-4 yards than they would get in the passive soaring wing formation. Now, the elliptical wing is also taken from the world of birds, and that is good for incredibly short bursts of speed and power. It's when you need a play where the ball needs to hit the line hard and fast with very tight steering, okay? In other words, you're not going to make big cuts. You're not going to do a cut across the field type action, but you might do a quick deke. All right, you might turn and put your back into the line as you a spin move. Okay, and that's what the elliptical wing provides. Now, if you're going around the line and very high speed, not normally through sometimes, but usually around the line, then you're going to use the high speed wing. And these are a lot of laterals, okay, a lot of toss backs, a lot of flip backs, a lot of flip outs, a lot of wrist rolls, and a lot of those type of moves. And what's probably the most fascinating one, I think, is the hovering wing. Now, the hovering wing allows the quarterback, the running back, the fullback, to hover in midair, and if they're young, if they're just out of college and just new in the NFL, they usually have the dexterity. Their younger body is limber. Some of the old guys can't pull this off, but they're able to change direction in midair by hovering and then folding their body into a jackknife-like position and then flipping back over into the position they had as they entered into the hovering wing. So guys, this really is a long answer that gets deep into the football aspect, but it's critical that you understand the role that Dallas played in the history of Dallas sports, Dallas Cowboys, and the NFL, but also how that is tied to the formation of the city itself, and of course, the name of the town named after this innovator, this leader, this frontiersman in the areas that we just mentioned. So guys, that's the rich history of the name of the city. Come back for more videos. We've got a lot more parody videos coming and answering these important questions. If you know more about this, if you're a descendant of Dallas, and have any family heirlooms or family information you want to share, leave a comment on the YouTuber or on the Twitter machine, and I'll talk to you soon.